Hey guys, it's Debbie, and I hope you all are doing well. I wanted to pop on here and tell you that one of the two pieces that I created for the cinematic devotion was chosen to be in a local exhibit. It's based on cult classic movies, and I'm super excited. But today I'm going to reveal a behind the scenes of the one that didn't get chosen. And I think I'm a little bummed because I did put more time and effort into this particular piece. However, they had a lot of submissions, and I think that, it just wasn't as iconic as the other one, because when I do go and show you the other one, if you're a movies buff, especially an 80s buff, you will be able to see that right away. So basically, I'm going to see how I can turn this. I don't know how to flip this while I'm on here, so that's interesting. I should have probably done that before. Okay, so here we go. I want to show you this the best that I can. Okay, so this was for cinematic devotion, and this is my tribute to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory 1971. And what I did is, this is an actual real piece of a garden gate. Okay, my husband and I have this garden gate fencing all around the outside of our house, and I found a piece that was in the garage. So what I did was, there's two canvases here. There's one here and one down below, and I painted them with kind of iconic colors. I wanted it to look a little bit like chocolate. I've got gold to kind of represent the golden ticket, and then I've got blue at the top to represent kind of like blue sky brainstorming. And then the one down here is going to be a little bit harder to show you. I'll have to maybe take some still pictures. But I did, again, the chocolate, and then I did something to sort of represent pink in the middle for like ice cream, and then green on the bottom. So I'm going to just bring this down here a little bit. So what I did here is, on the bottom of this canvas, all of these are silk leaves that most of them are wired, and they were off of other plants, silk plants and flowers and stuff like that. So I glued them on there. Then I had these tiny little glass bottles that I bought like at the dollar store, and I filled them with like confetti for parties, and like little jewelry and stuff like that. These tiny little baskets right here were actually pew holders from when I used to do weddings, and you would put like live arrangements or something like that in there. And then I used some Easter grass. I put a golden egg down here. I used some scrapbooking material. This is actually styrofoam that's wrapped with like candy striped ribbon. Okay, this little piece here, I think I'm pointing it the wrong direction. Okay, so then we've got these little beads here that I got at the dollar store that I used the tie-dye spray paint on, and it's not really a spray paint, it's just misted because it's already mixed with water. I've got some flowers on here because if you kind of remember in the movie, they were like drinking out of flowers. I made these little ice cream cones out of wiffle balls that I covered with tissue paper. Then I covered them with cellophane and some repositionable pre-adhesive like decorative wall decor. And then I made these big bows, and I basically used found objects to make them look like something that you would have seen in the movie. These right here are actually globes that are watering globes, okay? They are something that you would use in your garden or an indoor plant. And then I know this is reversed, but it says, "We are the dreamers of dreams." And then I had some big pieces of cellophane, and then I had some big pieces of styrofoam, and I used scrapbooking material on here, ribbon, and I made big pieces of candy. These pieces right here are like, they're a little bit smaller than paper towel rolls. They're mostly like from foil or from like parchment paper or something like that. And then I used this up here, and I've used this same print a couple of different places. This was actually intuitive watercolor that I did for a different project. And then down at the bottom, I had another piece where I wrote, because there was the saying that said, "We are the dreamers of dreams." And then the other part of that was, "We are the music makers." So I did that, and I put some other little pieces on here. I hope that this works because I'm kind of behind the camera here. And I took some fun, silly straw type things that you would find in the party decor area of like Walmart. And I took some other little things and upcycled them. I used purple, and, because that was kind of iconic of the movie, and tried to use colors from that era that had kind of like that retro feel to them. And I put on, like other little trinkets. I've got these cute, tiny little, I don't know if you can see them, ladybugs that were scrapbooking materials from a dear friend. This is also wooden with the ice cream cone, and I put on some little lilies and some other flowers, and these other little things down here, if you can see them, they're super cute. There's some buttons that have smiley faces on them, which are so like the 70s. I made something over here. I think this is reversed. I'm so sorry. This is the first time trying to do this backwards. I made something to kind of look like a candy apple, and I wanted like really whimsical ribbons and stuff like that. So what I think, and just to make these candy boxes, what I did was I had some jewelry boxes where I just had the lids and I did not have the bottoms. So I took the intuitive watercolor that I had done, and I wrapped it around, I wrapped it around, wrapped it around the boxes, and then put the cellophane on there with some gold ribbon. And I've got little things on here to look like little candies and whatnot. But what I think it would be really cool, I'm going to flip around again here so you guys can see me. What I think would be really cool is to use something like this as a photo op backdrop for a themed event and a themed party. And it was really inexpensive to make. So again, I was upcycling styrofoam that I had from something else. I was using scrapbooking material, and I was using wrapping paper and cellophane paper. And then again, I was using party supplies like these little trinkets that you would maybe put favors in for a party, and the little silly straws, the watering globes to kind of make them look like candy. I used a lot of different scrapbooking materials, a lot of different holiday decor and party decor, and these little half shaped round right here, I wanted them to look like gumdrops that they had kind of found. They're actually plastic Easter eggs that were connected, and I opened them up, and then I was able to glue them flat so that they could actually look like gumdrops. This little thing here is like a little plastic container that I had, and this was an old necklace that my mom gave me, and you know how they have like the candy necklaces where you're eating off the little pieces of candy. I wanted it to look like it was sort of spilling out of the container. This right here, you can't really tell, but I wanted it to mimic like long pieces of licorice, like the Good and Plenty's were black and white, and this is just a little cellophane bag that has gumdrops on it. I think it was from Easter, and again, these are like, you can use like paper towel, you could use the inside tube for like wax paper or something like that. And again, this is a garden gate. Then I made these really big bows, and I used to do visual display merchandising, and I learned how to, do that. And I did purple, and I did orange, and I did green, and I did yellow, and I did teal blue because I wanted it to reflect that era. Some of the scrapbooking paper actually has cute little stuff on it. Like this has ice cream cones and it has popsicles. And again, that whole kind of like 70s vibe we're talking about. This is called A World of Pure Imagination, and it is a fan art, if you will, for Willy Wonka 1971. So I wanted to use stuff that I remember, like candy necklaces and, you know, popsicles, little cute little bottles of things that you might find. And yeah, I hope that you guys like it. I will make it into maybe a reel with some still pictures or something like that. And again, I was a little bit bummed that it did not get chosen for the exhibition, but it does weigh more than most of the artwork that I normally create. And I do believe that the other piece that was chosen, which I am super excited about, definitely you would be able to look at it like immediately, I think, and you would know what it was. But I like the idea of this for like a kids themed party. I went on Pinterest, actually. I went on Pinterest to find some ideas of, when I worked in retail, the one job, we did use, styrofoam and cellophane to make big candies, to put in display windows for Christmas. And we used round ones that were like a round ball. Then we colored them or covered them with red and green cellophane and tied them with big bows to look like little pieces of candy and stuff like that. But this would be really cute too if you were doing like a Candyland. You can see this kind of looks like somebody would be like eating an ice cream cone out of like a paper cone. And I made this out of a wiffle ball, covered it with cellophane and put like a little straw in there. And that would be really cute for like a kid's birthday party, for like a Candyland theme. This is for Willy Wonka, but you could change it up. Here I've got We Are the, Dreamers of Dreams, because I wanted it for that particular movie. And then down here I've got, We Are the Music Makers and stuff like that. You could easily repurpose this and cover that part of it, put something over it, and turn it into something like an Alice in Wonderland tea party, which would be really cute because, again, they had the what do you call it, like the long table. And I told you before, if maybe you're new to me, but I had done like a family Easter party that was Alice in Wonderland themed. I didn't do mushrooms on here. I had some paper mache mushrooms, but I wanted to keep them separate. I didn't want to put them on here because I do want to keep that separate for Alice in Wonderland. But this was a really inexpensive idea. You could also, now I did it on the gate because I wanted it to look like the gates going into Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. If you had the time and the budget wasn't an issue, you could do 2 metal gates and then you could kind of butt them up against each other. You can see the little rungs in between here and stuff like that. You could actually like hang real candy off of here. Like if this was a kid's party and or if you were doing like a baby shower or like, I don't know, even a bridal shower, and you were doing something like a theme like that. But it would be fun to do for Alice in Wonderland. It would be very easy to do something similar. You don't have to do the painted canvases. I did because I didn't want to just attach everything to the fence by itself. I wanted to be able to have a little bit more dimension and glue it. It definitely probably needs to be glued a little bit better. And now I need to figure out where I'm going to store it. It's great hanging off the back of this door, but it's heavy and I'm not going to be hanging it on the door every morning, when I wake up or whatever. But anyway, so basically just to tell you guys, I used a metal outdoor fence. You could use lattice, like if you were doing Alice in Wonderland or you were doing like a Candyland theme or something like that. And again, I saw you could find these on TikTok, you could find them on YouTube, you could find them on Pinterest or something like that, probably even Instagram. You could use lattice instead of the metal if you wanted to as the backdrop or some sort of slatted piece of something. Back in the day, I did homecoming float building. So a lot of times people that are into float building, know different, things you could use. I know one float we used like the board that they put up before they're kind of like finishing up walls and stuff like that. I can't think of what it's called. But I also did visual display merchandising, and I did stage crew when I was in high school. So we were building props. So it's neat to look at items that you wouldn't normally like use for this. So like I said, this blue thing right here is just round, and it has like a little stake in it, and it's actually meant to be inverted to fill with water. So if you're not home and you want your plants to like water themselves while you're not there, or you have some pots outside that you want to do something like that. So I wanted it to look like candy, and I chose the ones that were really colored. I used some little, what do you want to say, wiffle balls that were from the kids' toy department to make something where I could cover it to make it round. I used silk flower leaves and a couple of silk flowers. I used wrapping paper. I used scrapbooking materials, little scrapbooking, little trinkets, if you will. Like I said, little buttons that had smiley faces on there, and some other little ones that had ladybugs on there. And I used canvas with just craft paint, not like any fancy paint or anything like that. And it was a fun project. Like that would be a cool project. Like if you were getting ready to do a birthday party for your kids, get them involved and let them do some of the painting, let them do some of the crafting, some of the stuff I cut out with the, crafting scissors. There was more of that intuitive wall, what do I want to say? The intuitive watercolor that I used on another area. I used it on the boxes. I used it on a couple of the sayings, but I also wanted to use it, and I cut up part of it in long strips on the bottom to look like the lickable wallpaper that was in the original 1971 Willy Wonka. And I was wearing these little beads because I was thinking these look like rock candy, and these are actually, pink quartz. And you could do something like that where you could get, like, depending on how elaborate you wanted to do it, you could do the real rock candy and you could have candy hanging on here. I've seen some really cool Wonka stuff online, especially with the movie. There's been other versions of it. There was the one with Johnny Depp, and then there was the new one that came out, and you could do it that way. I just wanted to stick with the colors that were iconic for the 1971 version, and stuff that kind of reminded me of me being a child and me seeing it for the first time. So I apologize if this was a little wonky for this little Wonka behind the scenes, but I just thought it was fun. Like I said, it's festive. It would make a great photo op area for some sort of themed event. You could definitely do something even more elaborate, put stuff on either side of it, let people hold up different props. I've seen people make really cool things out of cardboard, like they've made the Wonka hat and then they covered it with felt or something like that. You could make oversized, candy canes. Like I've seen that, or like big oversized candy where they're taking PVC and then they're putting something on there so that you could flank either side of this with something. You could put it in a flower pot, like to stabilize it, or something like that, where the kids, the family, the guest, whoever's coming to this event, you could actually have the props, and then you could have other little like iconic things from the movie. And again, this would be super easy to change into Alice in Wonderland or Candyland or something like that. So I will make a little clip of this. I'll pull out one that I think is, helpful or whatever. And I will go ahead and put that on here. And then I will upload this whole behind the scenes to the YouTube channel so that you can watch the whole thing in its entirety. Thank you all for whoever's joining, and I appreciate that. I'm enjoying going live on this platform, and mostly pretty much everything I've been doing has been related to some sort of a behind the scenes art. I was just on here, I think like 2 days ago, and maybe it was a day or two ago, and I was giving some ideas for chakra mood boards, kind of old school, but like amping up vision boards or dream boards. And this again was entitled A World of Pure Imagination. And they, consider the original Willy Wonka. They did not expect it to actually be a really big hit at the box office. And I remember, back in the day, and I'm aging myself, but even when my, niece and nephews were younger, stuff would come out on, VHS, and they would be able to watch it more. But certain movies, like even Wizard of Oz, and some of these movies would come out like once a year around the holidays, and you had to like watch them the one and only time. I really can't remember. I would have been really young if I saw Willy Wonka in the theater. It's very possible that I did. And now with these newer versions, you can mix and match some of the older feeling from this one, and then add some of the elements from the newer one. Like it would be really cool, like in the original movie they had the bubble room, and I have ornaments that look like bubbles that I didn't want to put on this, but you could do something like that, get some clear glass ornaments that would be like Christmas ornaments, and you could put them on here to look like bubbles. Or if you were having a party, get a bubble machine, which would be super cool if you were using this as a backdrop with some props and some like little things that people could hold for pictures, like even a sign, one of these like frames where you could write on the frame like what you wanted to, have them hold the frame, stand it in front of this prop thing here, maybe holding some props, and then maybe have a bubble machine going in the background. Or of course, I love bubbles, so maybe if you were having like a kid's birthday party, a bridal shower, baby shower, and you were theming it around this, even a corporate event, like I would totally love like a corporate event that was themed like Willy Wonka. That would be so much fun. Have bubbles on the table or something like that. So it's super easy to do, and it's super easy to kind of change it and tweak it just a tiny little bit to make it themed for something else. So basically Willy Wonka, meaning any version of the Willy Wonka, and then Candyland, which would be super cute, and then also, something to do with the holidays. You could, theme the same type of idea, with it be more red and green, like, for, a candy shop at Christmas or something like that. So again, I used basically items from the dollar store, a lot of repurposed stuff from the garden center, stuff from the kids' crafting area and kids' toy department, and then just stuff that I had around the house. And I will try to maybe post like some stills in the form of a reel so that I can show you some of the shots of the whole entire thing. And thank you all for joining live. Thank you all for watching. And I will save this as a highlight, and then I will post the entire thing in its entirety to the YouTube channel if you want to watch. And then soon the cinematic devotion actually opens up next week. I won't unveil the piece that got chosen. And what's crazy is, I was just talking about this on the other platform, that was the original piece that I wanted to create. Like I had all these ideas of what I wanted to do for that particular movie, for cinematic devotion, and I chose to focus all my time and attention on this because it was a very big project. And even though it wasn't chosen, it's super fun, and I'll find somewhere to store it, and I'll use it for some sort of a themed event, or maybe even give you different ideas where I can prop this camera up where I can be in front of it and then show you some of the other ideas that I suggested. But the other one took me a lot less time, is about this big versus like humongous like this one, and that was the one that got chosen. So when I do get it delivered to where it needs to be, and either show you from the opening reception or do a little behind the scenes with that. So anyway, thanks for watching, and just stay creative. And that's the whole idea of this theme, meaning the Willy Wonka, a world of pure imagination, is to just tap into your imagination and think outside the box when you're actually creating something, and see items, meaning everyday household items, things in a different department, like how could you possibly repurpose them? What could you add to them? How could you get your kids involved? Or, like sometimes it was when I was working in the wellness industry, it was really fun. There was a lady that would do these benefits fairs, like these corporate benefits fairs, and she would always have a theme for it, and we were encouraged to dress in themed attire, and we were encouraged to set up our display table in the form of a theme to go with whatever she had chosen. And you could do something like this on a much, much smaller version, especially if you did it on a piece of lattice and you attach that, and you got an easel and you put it on your table for an event. Or let's say you're having a fundraiser for something and you wanted to have, again, a smaller version of this, maybe near a box where people would be doing a silent auction, or they were doing something to win a prize, or something like that. You could definitely do a smaller version of that. But I like the idea, because of the size of it, to do it as a photo backdrop for doing selfies, doing a business thing where you've got your business, and let's say you're doing a grand opening celebration or some sort of anniversary celebration for your business, and you wanted to think outside the box and do something fun. This makes people smile, I hope, thinking of their childhood, or, movies that make them happy, or just, like a kid running through a candy store. It makes me think of, too, like in the Harry Potter movie, if you've ever been to Universal in Orlando, they've got that, really the fun shop that had all the, weird little jokes and the candy and the games and the whole deal. You could totally just pick a movie, use some of these elements, pick a holiday, pick a theme, do something like that, and then just customize it with whatever colors that you guys choose to use for whatever it is you're doing. So again, just to kind of give you guys another little look, this was on a huge piece of fence. You don't have to use something that big. It's got 2 canvases on there that I painted with acrylic, just craft acrylics. It's got some repurposed gift wrap boxes, some repurposed styrofoam. I've made some big bows. A lot of it's like scrapbooking stuff, a lot of it's gift wrap, a lot of it's party supplies, a lot of it's stuff that you would find, in the party aisle or the kids craft aisle. And this again was for a thing that I had, chosen to enter for a competition. It was not chosen. However, I wanted to give you guys the behind the scenes because I kind of hinted about it before, and I will try to post some still pictures. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay creative, and I will see you again soon. Bye. Thanks for watching. Bye.